Hi everyone, this is Chris at Chris Moreno Design, and in this video, we will be creating navigation tabs in Adobe InDesign and exporting the document as an interactive PDF. Navigation tabs are a great way to spice up your PDFs and also allow the end user to navigate through a large PDF document with ease. Here, I have a 300-page report I created for a client, and having the navigation tabs on each page is a great feature. No matter which page I am on in the document, I can quickly jump to a main section, especially the table of contents, which is the first tab. I hope this technique can be beneficial for your design documents as well. All right, let's get to it. With Adobe InDesign open, we will create a new document. Go to File, New, Document, and we will create an 8.5 by 11 document. We want it to have 7 pages. Let's hit Create. Get rid of this tab. Let's go ahead and save this project before we get started. We'll save it to the desktop. Name it Navigation Tabs Project. Hit Save. Okay, so we'll open up our Pages panel. And we'll see we have 7 pages. And to start with, we're going to create the tabs, and we're going to work in the master page. So double click to take you to the master page. And let's start creating these tabs. In each tab, let's see, click the rectangle tool, and then click on this canvas. And we want each tab to be 0.5 inches in width and 2.75 inches in height. So once we have those set, just hit OK. And there's our first tab. I'm going to drag it to the top right of the page. I'm going to highlight it. Command C, Command V, copy and paste of the first tab. To create the second tab, I'm just going to drag it down right below the first tab. Now I'm going to highlight tabs 1 and tabs 2. Command C, Command V again, and drag those beneath the first 2. Now for this lesson, I'm just going to use the standard colors. Use this blue, green. So those are the colors I'll be using for this lesson. Now let's create the titles for these tabs. Use the Type tool, drag out a text box, and the first tab is going to be titled Table of Contents. Now for this lesson, Arial will be fine. Arial bold and 12 point is perfect. I'm going to center the text. And fix the height of the text box. Drag the width in a little bit. And there's our first title. I'm going to Command C, Command V to copy that. And we will name the next tab Section 1. Command C, Command V. This will be Section 2. Command C, Command V. Section 3. And those are the title of our 4 tabs for this lesson. Now let's drag over the first title, rotate, center it up with the color tab, and then let's change the width to match the color box width. Want to highlight the text and change it to white. And we will repeat the same process with the other text boxes. Highlight the text, change to white. Drag these two down here. Rotate, center, just the width, and change the text to white. Drag this last one down here, rotate, center, fix the width, highlight the text, and change to white. So we have our 4 tabs, we have the colors and the text. Now, to make these more tab-like, we will give them rounded corners. What I want to do now is just select all of the boxes, color boxes. I'll select the first one, hold Shift, click on the second one, hold Shift, click on the third one, hold Shift, click on the fourth one. I want to go to Object, Corner Options. And I just want to change these 2 corners right here. So in the drop-down menu, I will select Rounded. This drop-down menu, I'll select Rounded as well. And bump this up to 0.1875 inches on each of them. Hit OK. See, now we have the rounded corners that resemble a tab you would find on a printed report. So our tabs are done. Let's Command S to save this real quick. And then I'll start dragging out some guides on the master page. So let's drag this guide to 7.5 inches on the document. We'll grab one from the top. This will drag it to 0.5 inches. Another one from the left, 0.5 inches. So also you can go up here and type it in. And then I'll drag one from the bottom, 10.5 inches. Now these will be the guides for our actual content on the page. So now we go back to our page panel, double click on page 1, and all our tabs are there for each page. The guides are there for each page, and it's set up perfectly. So let's add some content to the first page. Drag a text box out. This is for the header. This will be the table of contents section. Highlight the text. Quick shortcut to highlight the text is Command A. And I want to use Arial again. Arial regular is fine, but I want to bump up text to 30 point. Now I want to line this up with the guides. Fix the width to match the guides, and the height of this text box, go up here and change it to, let's see, 0.75. See how that looks. Yeah, that's perfect. Drag it up to the top. So we have our header text box. Now let's drag a text box for some placeholder text, which will be the main content of the page. So we'll expand the text box to snap to the guides and to snap to the bottom of the header text box. Now let's jump to Lipsum.com. This is a great website if you've never heard of it before. It generates placeholder text. So we'll go down here, create 5 paragraphs. That's fine. That checkbox is checked, and we'll hit Generate Lorem Ipsum. Go down here, I want to highlight all of the 5 paragraphs. Command C, copy it. Go back to our InDesign document. Click the text box and Command V. Oops. Do that again. There we go. Okay, so there's our text. What I want to do is, just to make it a little more report-like, I want to click on the text box, go to Command B, bring up some more options. And right here, we're going to change this to 2 columns, which I think will work great for this lesson. And I want to highlight all the text, and we'll go back and change it to Arial. 11 point. And I will just highlight this bottom paragraph, copy, paste, just to generate some more text, just to fill out this text box. There, that's perfect. I'm going to Command S to save the progress we've made so far. And there's our first page. I want to highlight both text boxes, Command C, and jump to this second page. I'm going to go to Edit, Paste, and Place. So everything we created on the first page is easy to copy and paste on the second page. I'm going to highlight and change the header to Section 1. So if we open up our Pages panel again, first page is going to be Table of Contents. Second and third page is going to be Section 1. So what I want to do is copy both these text boxes down to page 3, paste in place, and then this will be Section 1 continued. I'm going to highlight this continued text and just make it 15 point. So it's just not as large as the header. Now let's add some more text to the other sections. Pages 4 and 5 will be Section 2. So copy, paste in place. Change this to Section 2. Since page 3 and 5 will have the same kind of content, Command C on page 3. The text box is on page 3. Jump to page 5. Edit, paste in place. This will be Section 2 continued. And page 4, go back to page 4, highlight the text boxes, Command C. Page 6, this will be the start of Section 3. Paste in place. Section 3. Jump back to page 5. Highlight the text, Command C. Jump to page 7. Edit, paste in place. And this will be Section 3 continued. And we were going to save this again, Command S, do a quick save, and save all the progress we made so far. All right, so we have our 7 pages. Page 1 is Table of Contents. Page 2 and 3 is Section 1. Page 4 and 5 is Section 2. Page 6 and 7 is Section 3. Now, before we start making the tabs interactive, we are going to create some text anchors, some bookmarks. And the bookmarks are going to land at the start of each section. So since Table of Contents is its own section, I want to place the cursor right in front, the header, Table of Contents. go down in the bookmarks panel, and then we are going to create a new bookmark and rename it Table of Contents. We're going to jump to page 2, do the same thing for section 1. Down to bookmarks, new bookmark. We'll rename this bookmark section 1. Hit return or enter to lock it in. Go back to our pages panel. Now, since pages 2 and 3 are going to be section 1, I just want the text anchor for the tab to jump to page 2. So for section pages 4 and 5 that share section 2, I only want the text anchor or the tab to jump to page 4. So I won't be creating a text anchor for the continued pages. I just want to create a text anchor for the start of each section. Place the cursor in section 2. Create a new bookmark. Rename it section 2. Hit return or enter. And our last text anchor will be for section 3, page 6. Place the cursor in front of the header. Jump to the bookmarks tab, new bookmark, rename it section 3. Hit return or enter. So now we have all our text anchors. And that's the first step we need before we start creating the buttons for the navigation tabs. So with our pages panel open, we're going to jump back to the master page, and we are going to start making these tabs interactive. So I want to highlight the text box in the first tab, and I'm going to Command G to group them. Now this will be our first button. Go down to the Buttons panel. Drop-down menu, we're going to select Button. And we're going to name this button Table of Contents. Now we are going to assign some actions to this button. Event is fine. Default is on release or tap, which is perfect. We're going to go over and hit this plus sign. And we are going to select the first one. We want, when a user clicks on this tab, we want it to go to a destination. Now with the destination options open, we see our document navigation tabs project was just perfect. And the destination is defaulted to section 1 right now, but we want to change that to table of contents. Appearance is fine. We don't need to touch any of this at this point or for this lesson. Hidden until triggered, we leave that unchecked because we don't want this tab hidden. And we want to make sure printable is checked. That way, if anyone does print out this PDF, the interactive tabs will not be missing. And that's it. And we want to repeat the same process for the section 1 tab. I'm going to highlight everything, Command G to group it, create a button, rename this button section 1, add an action, go to destination, and set up section 1. That's perfect. Highlight the section 2 tab, Command G, create a button, rename this button section 2, add an action, go to destination, and we'll change the destination down here, drop down menu to section 2. Our last tab, highlight the text box in the tab or the color box, Command G to group it, create a button, rename the button Section 3, give it an action or assign an action, go to destination. We're changing the drop-down menu to Section 3. Close out of this. We are going to Command S to save our progress. And I believe that's it as far as the InDesign document goes. Now, we want to export this a particular way so that all the interactivity remains intact with this PDF. So let's export the document. Go to File, Export. Save this to the desktop. And we are going to change, usually the default is Adobe PDF Print, but we're going to change it. We're going to use Adobe PDF Interactive. Hit Save. Now in the dialog box, we want to make sure the view is 100%, layout is single page, view after exporting is perfect, page transitions from document, don't really need that. And under here, here's the key part, the options. We want to include all forms of media. So we want to make sure that's checked. And under compression, automatic compression is fine. Maximum 300 is perfect for this lesson. And let's hit export. So now we have our 7 pages in this PDF. And as I move my cursor over the tab, you can see it changes and it's clickable. So let's click on, since we're already on the table of contents page, let's click on the Section 1 tab while we're on the table of contents page, and it'll take us to Section 1. Now, while we're on the Section 1 page, let's click on Section 2. That tab takes us right to Section 2, the beginning of Section 2. And we'll click on Section 3, and that tab will take us right to the beginning of Section 3. Now, if we go directly to page 7, which is the continued page for Section 3, and let's click the table of contents, it'll take us right back to the table of contents. So no matter what page we're on in this document, we can quickly jump to any main section we choose to. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.